I started a little early. We're going to talk about business math. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. We're going to talk about basically how to make money, because it really boils down to a mathematical formula, right? It boils down to a mathematical formula, and a lot of people like to pussyfoot around and do everything but make money. They feel some kind of way about making money. So what I'm going to start with is the 6 part of the 369. I did the 3 this morning, and I'm quickly going to do the 6 while we get in here and while you share and invite others, because this is going to be good. I got the whiteboard, I got the dry erase markers, and we are going to talk about how to make money online, because I think we just get a little lost sometimes. Get a little lost, okay? So I'm going to write these down really quickly, and then we will get going. And I will also get the other platforms pulled in. If you do not have the 369 journal, I highly, highly recommend it, because you have to work on your self-concept in writing these affirmations, writing these desires and goals 3, 6, and then 9 times, 3 times a day. That's like 18 times, I think. Yeah, it's like 18 times over the course of the day, and it is very effective from what I have experienced. So we want to get 2025 kicked off in the right way. And I'm finding that coming on here and doing either the 3 or the 6, sometimes the 9 on live stream, has really helped me develop the habit, and very quickly. So just another way that showing up helps you to make money online. You gotta show up. You gotta show up, okay? You gotta show up. If you're not showing up, you're not going to make money. I've talked about this before, like the whole faceless account thing. Some people can pull it off, most can't. They go about the strategy incorrectly. So I've written 4 times. I'm on my 5th time out of 6. So go ahead, get in here. If you are not following, you know where to click to follow. And this is number 6. All right, so this is the 369 journal. I'll read you some of these affirmations out of here. It is, this is such a great book, such a great guide and way for you to get focused. I use it in conjunction with the Miracle Journal. Both are tagged in this video. Highly recommend them both. If you really want to, get focused and start your year right with, and you can start the year at any time, right? Just know that you can start the year at any time. You don't have to wait until January 1st to start the year. This can be January 1st for you today. You can make any day the day that you start, right? In fact, I always actually get started on my year before the first of the year. Like the 4th quarter is generally like the beginning of my year, okay? And then January is more of a reset month for me. Thank you so much for the love. January is a reset month for me, because you come out of the holidays. Sometimes you're a little bit discombobulated from all the activity, the change in diet, the change in habit. We get a little more lax those last couple weeks of the year. And so I like to come into January with the mind of resetting, right? So for a lot of people, January is a restart month. Like I said, number 1, I really don't do resolutions. I just make changes, right? I focus on 1 or 2 things that I want to really make a habit for 60 to 90 days before the year actually starts. At minimum 30 days before the year actually starts. And then I'm just resetting and refocusing on that same thing come January. And so that's why when I found that the Miracle Journal was on sale, I had to grab one. I had to grab it because it's got some powerful affirmations in here, and it flows right in line with what I like to do in terms of journaling and manifesting my goals. Like it goes over 8 different manifesting methods in here. It is just an awesome guide. So there are affirmations in here. These affirmations are really cool. So let's read a couple of those because some of my favorites are in here. My mind is worth millions. Every penny I spend is returned to me tenfold. I get paid to exist. And we're going to talk about the math of that today because y'all need some math, right? Because we've been listening to these people who have really low self-concept, so they are afraid to charge their worth, but yet they think that they I'm not going to say what I want to say, but they think that that actually there's a lot of desperation. We'll just put it that way. When you have that low self-concept and the ability to fawn, you know what I mean? That whole fawning concept, that whole people-pleasing concept, which is really a self-concept issue. It's a self-esteem issue that results in underpricing. And if you are underpricing and you are coaching people, you are very dangerous to the entire ecosystem. I'm just going to say it. It's very risky for you to pay attention to and listen to someone who is a fawn and underprices. It's very risky, right? Because they don't value themselves enough to price their services and their products accordingly. They're very fearful of actually charging because they have self-concept issues, and that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if this is your so-called coach and your so-called mentor, Houston, we have a problem. Right? Being a fawn is neither good nor bad. However, when you don't heal from that, when you don't do the necessary work, when you don't really figure out why and where that stems from, and then correct it through things like the manifestation journal, through things like the shadow work journal, you are now impacting other people, right? So what I'm saying is some of y'all are struggling and you're not making money because your coach is a fawn. I said it. Your coach is a fawn. Your coach, your consultant, your mentor, whatever you're calling them, is a people pleaser, and they are more concerned with you liking them than they are concerned with actually affecting transformation in your business and life. You have to understand that, right? You can be friendly, you can care about your clients and still hold them accountable. Right, and still hold them accountable, right? I was in a business once and I was part of the training team, and the chief of the trainers did everything for all of her people. And it's like, Tamara is not doing that. I didn't raise my children like that, right? I heard somebody on Facebook recently say that they didn't think they would know how to live with their mother, without their mother, because their mother had passed. But what they realized was their mother had been teaching them their entire life how to live without her. And as a mom, I can relate to that. Because when my oldest got to the dorms, freshman year in college, she was amazed at what those other girls in the suite did and didn't do for themselves and didn't know how to do or even care to do. And I used to tell my children all that all the time. I want you to be able to not only survive but thrive, whether mama is here or not. And if a coach is stuck in self-concept and lack thereof, that's very risky for you because it is contagious, right? If they are not holding themselves accountable and pricing themselves accordingly in order to please you, in order to not challenge themselves, because here's the deal, here's what nobody else will tell you. Building a business, any business, but especially online, is not something that is easy and comfortable to do. And the coach that is trying to make it easy and comfortable for you to do is failing you. I'm going to just keep it real. I always tell my clients, I cannot and I will not, I shall not do it for you. I will not make the decision for you. I will not make the call for you. I will not tell you what to do. I will help you discover the way to believe in yourself and trust in yourself, to know that you cannot and will not fail. But to do the work for you is not my role. And that is why, like my luminary path, no, I don't have any guarantee on that, because I can't guarantee that you're going to do the work, because it's your business. You can't pay me enough to build my business and yours. There is no amount of money you could pay me to do that. Right? Well, there is. There's always a price. Everybody got a price. However, what it would cost most people that are my ideal client could not afford to pay me to fully run their business and run mine. Because there's the opportunity cost. Something's got to give. Right? Something's got to give. Okay, so think about that. So more of these affirmations. I don't work for money. Money works for me. I'm always at the right place at the right time. My energy is expensive and exclusive. My presence is a privilege. Everything I desire desires me more. I don't chase, I attract. It is a privilege to be in my presence. And that is why you have to price accordingly. You have to price accordingly. And when you are not consistently and regularly raising your price, raising the bar, what it takes for someone to get your time and attention, there's something wrong. And the first place to look is at your self-concept, okay? And that is why the Miracle Journal is incredible, right? It has you do things like write a love letter, right? From your future self to your current self. Write scripts, vision boards, gratitude walk. There's so many methods in here for you to try and figure out which ones work for you. I read this book years ago when I was still working in corporate America, and it was What Got You Here Won't Get You There, right? It's going to require a new version of you, and that is why I like these journals. They help you become the version of you that has the things that you want, because we often think that we have to first have, when we think it's have, and then we'll be able to do, and then we will be able to be the person, right? So if you look at certain celebrities, you may think, oh, I have to have this coach, I have to have this tool in order to be able to do what she did in order to get to where she is. And you have to be the person that has the things that you want to have. And how you get there is through using tools like this. So the 369, it also has some really powerful affirmations in there, including this bookmark. So that is pinned in the orange card of the live stream on the Clock app. Okay, so let's talk business math, and let's see if I can set these down without knocking anything over. So let's talk business math, okay? And I might have to mirror. I should have did that beforehand. Let's see. Yeah, we got a mirror. So we got to. Okay, so we got it fixed there. Let's see here. All right, so we are in good view. Okay, so when we talk business math, right? At the end of the day, why are you in business? Right? Why would anyone start a business, right? You know, everybody, again, self-concept. Everybody wants to start a nonprofit. They don't want to start a business because for some reason we feel icky about making money. We are made to believe that it is just about serving people. Now, I'm of the mindset that the more people that you can make a positive impact and create transformation in their life, the more money you will make, okay? But ultimately, you are in business to make money, to serve and make money, right? And there is nothing wrong with that. Peter Drucker says the entire goal for business is to create a customer. And a lot of y'all get confused. Y'all think that someone buying from you, a sale, is a customer. No, a customer is a relationship. A sale is a transaction, okay? So that's the first thing we gotta get our heads wrapped around, right? That you are in business to transform lives. That is value. That is the value that you bring. And the more value that you bring, the more money you will make, okay? So the goal is to create customers. And bear with me, because this is going to make so much crystal clear sense when I get done. The goal is to create customers, okay? You need to create customers. A sale is merely a transaction. When you create customers, you get to stay in business longer. And I'm going to prove it to you. When you create customers, you get to stay in business longer because it is a relationship built on trust, built on value. Okay? Built on trust, built on value, right? I have represented various brands out there, and people will come to me and ask me about products outside of the brands that I represented. And they were willing to help me find a link so that I could get paid for helping them because they trusted me in my opinion. When I worked in banking, when I was a banker, my clients would ask me for recommendations on things like if someone was new to their area, they would ask me for recommendations on CPAs, on real estate agents, because we had a relationship that was rooted in trust. Because I took care of them. And created a customer, an actual relationship. I delivered what I said I would deliver. I helped them in the way that I said that I would help them. Okay? So that is the root of business math. You need to create customers. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have customers, you do not have cash flow. Okay? We all know about cash flow quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. Cash flow is money going in and money going out of your business, right? And when you have more money coming in than going out, that is a good thing. That is positive cash flow. When you have more money going out than you have coming in, that is bankruptcy. That is a bad thing. And the reason that exists is because you do not have enough customers. Okay? You do not have enough customers, or you are not charging them accordingly. So what did we start this conversation talking about? The fawn who has a low self-concept and gives away everything for free. Right? You do not have a customer if everything is free. You do not have a customer if everything is free. Can I get a witness? Can I get an amen? If everything is free, they have not had a transaction with you. Because being a customer is not just the relationship. Right? It's not just the relationship. But we, in particular, as women, have been made to feel icky about the money part. So some of you are stuck because you feel that your value is in being a fawn and doing everything. And so the fawn lowers their price instead of reaching for a higher income, a higher level ideal client. Did you pick up what I just said? The fawn focuses on dropping their price and giving up more of their time, more of their talent, more of their seed, so to speak, more of them for less money. And y'all know who I'm talking about. You know who in your system is the fawn. You know, you're picturing them right now when I describe it. You know who the fawn is. They're giving you more and charging you less for it. Okay, so let's quickly get into some of this math, okay? So, sales is what creates cash flow in your business. So, like we talked about yesterday, all this talk about, I don't want to sell, I'm not a salesperson. You don't want to be in business. You don't want to be in business. Because until you have enough cash flow to pay someone either commission or a salary or some combination of the two, guess who is and needs to be the best salesperson in your organization? You. And I would argue even after they're gone, the best person in your in your organization should still be you. Because we don't own people in 2025. They have free will. They have dominion over themselves, and they can choose to go elsewhere, okay? They can choose to take their time, their talent, and their totality, and their treasure elsewhere, and seek treasure elsewhere. So sales is where cash flow comes from, right? And many of you want angel investors. You want people who are going to inject cash into your business. It's very difficult to get people to do that when you're not creating cash flow, when you're not generating sales. You don't believe me? Watch an episode of Shark Tank. Watch an episode of Shark Tank if you don't believe me. So sales is going to be your cash flow, okay? So let's talk about sales goals, okay? So you need to know how many units you need to sell, you need to move in order to hit your sales goal. So you need to have your sales goal. You need to know your average sales amount, and that is going to help you figure out how many units you need to move, right? So if your target income is $300 and your average per unit is 20, you take 300 divided by 20 and you need to move 15 units, okay? You need to move 15 units. Why is this important? It's important because y'all get lost on social media. Y'all get lost listening to these gurus, these fawn coaches who are telling you not to focus on sales and focus on all this other stuff. Baby, you can focus on all that other stuff, but if you are not focused on making sales and generating cash flow and revenue in your business, because cash flow and revenue are pretty close to each other. They're related. They're directly correlated. You're not going to make any money. And if you're not going to make any money, you ain't going to make no sales goals, and you're not going to be in business for a long time. So you need to have sales goals. You need to know how much you need to move in a year, in a quarter, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, down to an hourly basis. And yes, that applies to coaches and service providers as well. You need to know how many units you need to move. So if you're a tax provider and your season is from January to April, you first of all know not to schedule your vacation during tax season. It needs, you probably want to do one before and one after, okay? And you probably know that your peak time is going to be it's going to start building up mid-January, but by February and March, that's going to be your peak, and it's going to taper off in April. And it's going to be different if your ideal client is businesses versus regular schmegular everyday people, right? The cycle I just gave you is more so for regular schmegular everyday people. But businesses, and then depending on the type of businesses, if you are really into a niche, again, it's going to impact the cycle of your business. Okay? So you need to know how many units, right? So I'm going to give you 2 other formulas for this business math lesson. I'm going to keep it real simple, right? But sales is cash flow. If you have a sales goal, you need to know how many units to move. And so you need to know either the cost or the average size of your order. So let's go to a Tamira world. Okay. Back in the day, I used to sell custom foundation packages. They actually did average about $300 per package, right? So if I wanted to make $3,000 in a month and the average package was $300, then that is actually 10 customers per month. Okay? That would be 10 customers per month that I would need to generate, right? I would need to generate. Now, with a product like what I was packaging, I had repeat customers. So I could look at my book, of business and say, okay, 4 people are going to need to re-up this month, right? But my re-up is not necessarily 300, it's more like 150. So that's $600 right there. So now my goal is actually 2,400, and divide that by 300. I actually only need 8 new customers. I didn't even mean to do that. I just slipped into that. I didn't actually even mean to. Y'all know I sometimes get overboard. I get besides myself and I just get to rolling, right? But this is the power of having consumable products, right? Consumable products that are going to be used up and they need to reorder, right? So, and the more new people you generate, the more re-ups you're going to have in a month, and that's the less new customers you have to get. And if you understand business philosophies, you understand that it is much more intensive, both time and dollar-wise, to get a new customer than to take care of and retain an existing customer. I feel like I'm preaching today, right? So in the beginning, you are going to spend a lot of time getting new customers, and later on down the road, you don't have to work as hard because you have steady and reliable customers, and you just keep injecting new customers, and now you have longevity in your business, okay? So if you need 10 customers a month, and there are 4 weeks in a month, right? If you get 2 customers a week, that means 8 new customers, and then you can figure out where you're going to get the other 2 from. Or you could set a target of 3 times 4 weeks, and you actually end up with 12, and you blow your goal away. You blow your goal away. Now you can do the same thing and break it down daily, but there's no need to do that with numbers like this, because this is ideally what a lot of you are working with, right? Or you're working with $1,000 packages, $3,000 packages. It works the same no matter the amount, right? But if you're selling a physical product like lip glosses or mascaras, yeah, then I would not only break it down weekly, I would break it down daily and even by the hour, how many I need to sell per day and per hour. Because the reason you want this number is y'all get too easily distracted and doom scroll, and again, listen to these fawns who have no self-concept, right? Who have no self-concept. You need someone to keep you focused on leads. You need leads, right? So we'll talk about that next, okay? So check this out. This is sales goals, sales planning, sales forecasting, okay? I can come back and teach you how to track it and know when you need to adjust, modify, and control. But we're gonna keep it real basic today. Keep it real basic, okay? So you need to know how many prospects you need to talk to in a month to hit your new customer goal, right? And that is the number of target sales divided by your conversion rate. I was on a marketing call this morning, and there was an event held in December, and there were ads ran. And one of the reasons I work with very few people on Facebook ads and social media ads, because people have the game all messed up. Most people are not going to convert from the ad itself. The real reason you are running ads is for traffic, right? And you want to run traffic to a high converting offer, something that people want to buy, and ideally that they want to buy again and again, like a lip gloss, okay? So that is the real reason you want to run an ad, is to get traffic, right? And you want that traffic because guess where the highest conversion rate is? The highest conversion rate is face-to-face, or the next best thing, messenger or webinar or video or Zoom. That's where the highest conversion rate is. So if you can run traffic to get in front of the people, to get that intimacy, you can increase your conversion rate, right? This is important because if the Clock app is banned, traffic is going to be tight. Traffic is going to be tight. You're either going to have the money and the cost of ads is only going to go up, which is why homeboy, volleyed and lobbied for this to happen so he can make more money. Traffic is going to get tight. You're going to have to learn how to talk to people. You're going to have to learn how to network. You're going to have to learn how to people. And I'm an introvert. I'm a huge introvert. You look up introvert, and there I am, just at home, chilling by myself, drinking my mushroom coffee, just enjoying the solitude and silence of being by myself. But baby, when it is time to build, when it is time to fill that funnel, your girl knows what to do and how to do it. That's why a lot of y'all are always shocked when you find out how much of an introvert I am, because you see me go on live and I just go and go and go and go and do it and do it and do it and do it. And I've got this larger than life personality on camera. Now, those are your words, not mine. Right? So you need traffic in order for this to happen. And getting that traffic is going to come from three sources. It's going to be paid, which is ads. It's going to be earned, which is social, or owned, which is your blog. I believe in having all three. Doesn't mean they're all exactly 1/3, but I believe in having all three. Okay, so paid. If you don't have the budget to do that, then you've got to do guerrilla marketing. You've got to get out and make it a contact sport and contact and reach and touch as many people as possible. Content is a great way to do that. However, you cannot rest on it. You don't have enough control over it. You need to reach out to people in addition to content. And that's the part a lot of y'all are missing. Okay? And I get it, because there are times when I don't want to do it either, because I'm an introvert and I just want it to come to me. right? But it is earned, okay? Now we got to talk about this because the Clock app has really, really impacted a lot of people's ability to get paid to exist and monetize themselves. Because when you play by the rules, you got the traffic, right? The algorithm is actually a lot more in the people's hands on the Clock app. Did you know that when we talk about artificial intelligence and everybody being afraid of artificial intelligence just running off on its own and doing its own thing, I have a theory. I have a conspiracy. Want to hear it? I have a theory. I have a conspiracy. Want to hear it? My theory and conspiracy is this, and I actually have some things to back it up. The Instagram algorithm is rogue. They don't even know how to control it, how to contain it, how to reset it. It is just doing its very own thing. Don't believe me? Every time Mosseri gets on that app and tells y'all what to do, I'm not going to say the man is lying. I'm just going to tell you a lot of times what he's talking about doesn't work. And I'm not just talking about how the social media platforms tend to work and operate in silos, right? Because when you work with them in their creator programs and even work with like your ad specialist and that, you can tell that they're not all talking to each other because they're sometimes contradicting each other, right? So you can tell like group A comes out with an initiative that involves group B, but group B is on something else and they have no idea what group A told you to do. And so you're doing what group A told you and not getting results is because group B wasn't brought in on it, because they have a lot more control over these algorithms than they care to admit. Now you can be the algorithm and you can beat it, but we ain't talking about that today. Go to you know where and you can check it out. Right? It's my first name, last name .com. Right? So please pay attention to what I'm telling you here. The idea that you're just going to get up every day and you're going to seek going viral, you're going to fail in 2025, baby, if you do that. You've got to learn your business math. You've got to get rudimentary. Reading, writing, and arithmetic is how you're going to see your way through 2025. Right? If you want to succeed in business and especially online, and online, you should be building online to support your offline business. You're going to have to be really good at reading, writing, and arithmetic. Because remember, what got you here won't get you there. What got you here won't keep you in business 3 to 5 years from now. Things are always changing. We have to adapt. We have to adapt. Okay? So you need traffic and a high converting offer. It's going to be paid, earned, and owned. You need all three. Owned is my blog. Tamara Hamilton. Right? So if you want to know, you want to calculate how many new people you need to be reaching out to on a daily basis, you need to know the number of sales units that you are targeting and your conversion rate. So let's go back to the marketing meeting I had this morning where there were actually 56 leads collected and 10 joined, right? 56 and 10 joined. So let's do 56 divided by 10. That is a 5.6% conversion rate. Okay? That is a 5.6% conversion rate. Okay? So we know our conversion rate is 5.6. So if this organization wants 50 new members, divide that by 0.056. So let's do that math. That means that business needs to get in front of or have reach of 893. 893. Now that seems like a scary number, but if you got content working for you and you got content helping you filter who you contact, it actually becomes a lot more doable, and you will begin to see conversions a lot faster. You will see conversions a lot faster. Okay? So that's your business math. And you have to understand that you cannot rely strictly on content. Content is passive. This is both an active and a passive game. You have to have some contact support. Now, I'm not saying you got to do discovery calls, but you have to have some way to funnel people and get that intimacy and that contact to be able to convert them. This is also why you can't be a one-trick pony with your content and the type of content that you create and post. You have to create content for people at various stages of the buyer's journey. You can't just build brand awareness, but you also can't just post conversion content, because that's how you get shadow banned. That's how you turn people off. And you do want to do some turning people off. You do want to do some repelling. So that is business math 101. Okay? Business math 101. You have to know how much to sell and how many people you need to get in front of to hit your sales goal. If you know those two things, you know those three things, you will win. Ask me how I know. I still have customers who buy beauty products from me and have been for several years. And I no longer even actively promote beauty products. That's why I always think it's funny when people ask me about beauty products and they talk to me like they think I'm a failure because they don't see me actively promoting beauty products. And I'm not in a season where I'm explaining to people. Outside of doing this, I'm not in a season where I'm explaining to people. Right? Because it's not for everybody to understand. And it is not my mission. I am not fawning and feeling like I have to teach everybody. No, either you get it or you don't. Either you get it or you don't. I don't care. It don't affect me whether you get it or not. You could think what you want to think. Believe what you want to believe. That is the season I am in. I ain't going back and forth with nobody. I'm just not going back and forth. So what questions do you have that I can answer? How can I be of service to you while I am here? Business exists to create a customer. Customers are relational. It's about creating customer relationships, because when you have that customer relationship, you have that rock solid, that monthly recurring revenue that you can depend on. If your business is built upon you have to go out and get all new customers every month, that's why y'all get exhausted, tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, and quit. You have to find a way to get repeated, regular income every single month, like clockwork. Every single month like clockwork, right? Every single month like clockwork. Having to, and the other thing is, the other mistake y'all make is y'all get 10 customers and you're done. It's not enough because of retention. You need 100, at least 100, but probably I would say 200, 250. Right? Because we've talked about that. The 1,000 true fans, where you just need 100 people, 1,000 people willing to give you $100 a year to buy $100, and you'll hit 6 figures, right? But the next year, you either got to get all brand new customers, or you got to figure out how to get them to buy from you again, right? So that could be a renewal. You know, it could be something as simple as a renewal, right? But there is nothing wrong with being in business for profit. There is nothing wrong with charging your worth. If you are increasing your price and increasing the value, I don't see what the problem is. I do not understand what the problem is with increasing your price if you've increased the value. If the value of what you provide was underpriced, just bring up the, hey, listen. Listen, Linda, listen. I know people who it is $50,000 for a VIP day with them. It started out at 800 years ago. But as they got more and more results for their clients, it became more and more expensive for their time. And that's why I'm telling you, the fawn is dangerous to let them lead and follow you, because they are stuck in the land of plenty where they are too accessible to too many people. You will not increase your value that way. You will not increase your purse that way. Being liked is overrated. Being a people pleaser is overrated. It's overrated, right? You might hear certain terms thrown out to make someone feel better about being a people pleaser, right? Like team player. Like being a team player. Baby, you better get in your villain era. Being a team player, a maximizer. That is code. That is euphemism for being a fawn and a people pleaser. Number one person I aim to please is me and my bank account. I take care of my customers. Let me tell you, I have a beauty customer that I because of the relationship, I actually place her orders for her. So she reaches out to me by text message and I place her order. Often I just pay for it and she reimburses me for it. Right? Don't tell everybody that, because I don't do that for everybody. This is truly because of the relationship and the loyalty, right? So she messaged me and I was getting ready for bed. I said, okay, I will get to this tomorrow. I started my day and I kind of forgot about it. And then all of a sudden, I looked down at my planner and it was right there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to quickly do that order. And instead of looking at the text, I went off of my head. The text said facial oil and moisturizer. Right? But for some reason in my head, because she said moisturizer, I thought she wanted cleanser and moisturizer. So I paid for, I told her the price for cleanser and moisturizer, paid for it and shipped it to her, and she paid me for cleanser and moisturizer. It gets there and she says, you know, I needed facial oil, not cleanser. But because of the relationship, she wasn't mad. Because of the relationship, she didn't get nasty with me. Because of the relationship, she didn't go all over social media and saying how I was a loser and and all that. Right? I would read you the text, but I can't. Oh wait, maybe I can from mine. Right? Because I apologized. And I offered to even pay to get it expedited because she is doing some traveling. Right? So I was like, tell me where you want it expedited to. I will get it there to you, because she's doing some traveling. And she said, just send it home. It probably won't be here before my first trip to blank. Hopefully it'll get here before my second trip to point B. I said, done. And again, my apologies. She said, thank you, love. No problem. It's not that I can't use the cleanser anyways, right? That's relationship. Relationship is going to manifest by way of low return rate, low complaint rate. Transactions, high transactions without relationship, more business math. Transactions without relationship, high volumes of transactions without relationship is a customer service nightmare. It's a reputation nightmare. Right? And no, when you get to really volume, not everybody can have an intimate relationship with you like this. However, there are ways to make them fall in love with the brand that they feel that way. I'll give you an example. I had one of the first wearables back in like the 2010s, 2012s. Remember Nike Fuel Band? That little band you would put on and it would count your steps. It was like the precursor to Fitbit and the Apple Watch, the iWatch, right? In fact, Apple wound up buying the Fitband from Nike, and they just did away with it. They bought and got rid of the competition, and then the Apple Watch came out, right? So I went through 3 of those. But you couldn't pay me to say anything bad about Nike because I'm a Nike stan. I've owned a couple pairs of Reebok, maybe, K-Swiss, but to this day, your girl is a Nike stan. I don't really mess with Adidas or anything like that. And I'm like, if I'm wearing Nikes, I'm not going to wear some other brand shirt or jogger set or any of that, right? So I had to return that and exchange it twice and didn't care. I even bought the little shoes that had the sensors in it that worked with it and did all that. I did not care. And that is brand loyalty. That is brand affinity. We ain't talking about that today, but just giving you an example of how when you have that relationship, it comes in handy when things don't go right, because nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, right? Now, the majority of people won't be like me, and that's okay. But you do want to create those people. I actually got paid for my beauty business this morning. Recently, I did do a mascara, but that's L'Oreal. That's a mass merchant brand. But I still sell skincare. And I still get paid for it. I actually still have people who want to join my team. How? Because content is residual. Video is residual. The content is still out there. I create the content one time and it continues to sell for me. It continues to attract. It continues to convert. The first brand that I worked with, I had to turn those videos off several years ago. I had to hide them. I kept them for my own use. I wouldn't dare show some of that stuff today. Oh my God, hideous. Not the makeup and stuff, just me. Thank God for the growth and evolution, right? But I had to turn those videos off eventually because I kept getting people wanting to work with me because the content was out there. The content was continuing to sell, to attract, to ascend, to convert. Especially on a platform, hint, like YT, the television app. Okay? So business math, get you some. Pay attention to people who want to keep adding and lowering their price, but calling it luxury, calling it high end, calling it high ticket. Right? Afraid to charge by tier. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying that at all, except for when they steal from me. But I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying like attracts like. And if they have that trouble with self-concept, you likely are attracted to them, but you got to be careful because until they work through their self-concept and they actually charge what they're supposed to charge, it's a problem for them. And it's a problem for you if you listen to them, right? Like if you're going to trade shows and that, it's all fun and games until, you keep paying to go to events and you're not walking away with leads. Because, yeah, a lot of people are attracted to your booth, but they're walking away. Yeah, you're having conversations with them, but if they don't have anything to remember you by, you're putting it in their hands to come back to you and to contact you. That's not predictable. That's too much out of your control. And I ain't saying you got to be a control freak, because I hate control freaks. But that's not business. That's not intentional. You need to be able to follow up with them. That's what makes them a lead. You need their information so that you can follow up with them. Okay? Trying to think of what other examples. I'm hitting that afternoon lull time to have some neuro gum. I love that stuff. It was like my glucodefend a little bit ago. So, business math, you have to know how to calculate your sales goals, right? So if you know you want to make $5,000 a month, you need to know how many customers you need to generate $5,000 a month. And then after you've been in business 6-12 months, you need to know how many are returning. First of all, you need to know what your average, what I call ticket size is, what your average customer spends, what your average new customer spend is, right? And then you need to know how many returning customers you have on an average and what they spend on average. So now you have your predictable income. And then from there, you can determine what your sales goal is for new customers to fill in the gap. It's math. It's math. Why do we feel so icky about money? Why do we feel so icky about money? Because we've been made to see ourselves as less than. We've been made to see ourselves as free labor. I said it. We've been made to see ourselves as free labor. And we feel, we've been led to believe that the more we labor for free, the higher value we are. Woo! We've been made to believe that the more we labor for free, the higher value we are. And that's why everybody wants to do nonprofits. And some of y'all are running nonprofits without the tax benefit of it. Because that's all nonprofit is. It doesn't mean that those organizations don't operate in a surplus. They do. Check out the United Way. They operate at a surplus. They definitely operate at a surplus. I ain't gonna say every year. There is nothing wrong with you making money. There is nothing wrong with you charging your worth. Because if you don't, who is? If you don't want to charge your worth, you might as well go work a job, because please know that in a job, very rarely are they going to actually pay you what you're worth, because the system, that's all I'm going to call it. I'm not going to call it the P word ending in Y. Aki, key, archi. We're not going to use that word. We're just going to call it the system. The system is predicated upon not paying you your worth, because if you know your worth, you either are not going to show up or you're not going to give it your all. That is why they very rarely will pay you 100% of your income when you are disabled and for the entire time that you are disabled. Because they don't want to give you an incentive to stay out on their dime and not return to work. So if you ever think you're going to get paid your full worth working for someone else, I'm here to tell you it's not going to happen. By design, it is not going to happen. I'm preaching again. By design, a company, a boss, whether a large corporation, whether a small corporation, more often than not, they are going to withhold. Remember, HR's goal is to get you for as least as possible. And your goal is to get as much as you can coming in the door, because it impacts your pay long term. You never catch up if you get lowballed in the beginning. You never catch up, right? The best way to catch up is to high ticket coaching and courses. That is the best way. But a job is never going to pay you what you're worth. The goal is to make you feel not worthy. I'm preaching again. But the goal is to make you feel not worthy. The goal is to make you like you should be grateful for that little 3 to 5% increase that doesn't even keep up with inflation. You ain't gotta believe me. You can Google it. You can look to your left and your right and see it. Okay? That's what the goal is. The goal is never to pay you your worth. Fair wage does not equal worth, and most people are not even paid a fair wage. Keep that in mind, okay? I'm starting to heat up again, so I'm gonna get out from in front of this light, and I might come back on and stream again later, but thank you for watching. If you're not following, make sure you follow. Everything is where it is. You can go check out. I got all kinds of free resources and free content. I'm on YT, I'm on IG, I'm on PIN, I'm on FB, I'm on X, I'm where the sky is blue. I'm in all the places. You can search for me by first and last name and you will find me. And worst case scenario, you can Google me, baby, and you will find me. Okay? I'm gonna go now. I hope you enjoyed this business math, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.